Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BSV TV. I'm your host Satoshi, and on this show we'll be defending the one and only, truly genuine Bitcoin. The Bitcoin that Satoshi Nakamoto designed in his white paper as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system for the world. Let's get the disclaimers out of the way. So all the statements that you hear on this show are opinion and must only ever be taken as opinion. They are never to be taken as any form of advice, family, financial, sexual or otherwise. And on that note, let's sit back, relax, have some fun and enjoy the show. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and set your own fee on Streamanity.
Yeah, I'm not surprised I wasn't asked why I'm convinced Craig is Satoshi. I posted on Reddit. He signed in my presence using the private key from block number one, the very first mined Bitcoin block. On a computer that I'm convinced had not been tampered with, on software I'm convinced that had not been tampered with, a message of my choosing.
At Enchain, we've just funded a number of universities doing, so far, a test up to 1 gigabyte because it validates what we've already done independently. We've tested up to 380 gigabyte blocks. We've tested 1 million transactions a second and transaction sizes up to 20 megabytes. Super complex scripts. Basically ones that can run operating systems. That's all of global commerce times about 50. On top of that, we can have complex scripts. On top of that, we can scale each of those transactions 1,000 times, which effectively means about 1 billion transactions per second, which means we can then have all derivatives, all complex trades. That means high frequency trading. It means everything that happens globally.
Is the market that effectively BSV is going for, is that global e-commerce, which is currently valued at $29 trillion?
No, that's too small.
Buy and sell Bitcoin instantly at bsvgravity.com. And you can now book and pay for your winter holiday at skibsv.com. Alrighty people, here we go. It looks like we are live at just after 5. It is Tuesday, the 23rd of March 2021. Rocking and rolling. So let's just have a quick look at what is going on in this shitcoin market, because news in the market is about Tetra, whatever it is. This complete shitcoin entering like the top 10 or something. There it is. Oh look, Theta. Theta is a proof of stake protocol. It is an absolute piece of shit, and yet it's up 20%. But you know, number go up, number go down. You know, XRP is falling out of favor. How long was XRP in the top 3 for? Yeah, long enough. How long was Cardano out of the top 10 for? Then it went back in. It's just literally, it's kind of like the flavor of the month. Like, is all it is. Once these shitcoin traders have made their money from it, they'll sell it, and that's it. There is no utility in any of these things. They are a complete waste of time and energy. Apart from the fact they've got like lots of pretty colours there and stuff like that. You know, it's better than looking at shares in the newspaper and whatnot. At least you've got like a bit of orange, you know, a bit of purpley blue, bit of yellow, bit of kind of like turquoise, bit of green, bit of pink in there, bit of black and white. Yeah, a bit of unicorns and a bit of silver and like space rockets and dog shit. Like, oh my god. A lion in there. You know, all these fancy shapes, like all spacey, trying to mean, like, it is kind of funny when you think they've made these like little logos in round circles, you know, and that's what basically people buy them for. Like, literally, that is it. It is such a joke because they're meant to be money. You know, and we know that most of these, in fact, probably, I don't know, like of the thousands that are on there, and I think when the last time I looked, there were like over 4,000 shitcoins. You know, I would say probably 3,990 are all ERC20 tokens. Absolute pieces of shit. You know, as are the other shitcoins. Pre-mined. Worse than ERC20 tokens because they burn. ERC20 tokens based on Ethereum, which is moving to proof of stake. Absolute shit show. Centralized by the stakeholders. delegated proof of stake, centralized by the stakeholders. And then you've got like anonymous coins like Monero, centralized by the owner because they're not accountable to anybody. Literally, when you look at it like that, you're just like, all right, well, actually, so there is only one coin that's got any fundamental value on there, which is this one, which basically means you've got like $1.67 trillion of shit, which is basically designed to cover up the real Bitcoin. It is a conspiracy, a massive one. What shit can we think of now? Well, I suppose you can think of endless shit really, because they're all bullshit. You can literally lie your face off until the cows come home. Literally, that's all you do, because these shitcoiners don't give a shit about fundamental value. They are dollar worshipping, the dirty dollar. That's literally all they care about. So I really couldn't give a monkey's about them. But anyway, I've been looking at the, not that I look at price go up, but like obviously keeping a keen eye on things because I want to go in soon. So I'm rather sort of like I prefer number come down. But like looking at the graphs, thinking hoping number's going to come down, it's actually looking quite strong. Like genuinely sort of quite strong. I mean, look, gradual trading bullshit pump and dump, another trading bullshit pump and dump. But I mean, look, that's a trend line. That's kind of like, that's quite strong, really. Obviously you can see when, dirty traders do their shit and try and pump it and dump it to make it a little bit. But look at the rest of it. That's actually looking really quite strong. And look at that. You can see it's steady. It's really steady over 3 months. So is it organic? I mean, this actually is starting to look like a curve. Look at that. That really is starting to look like a curve. Are we on the way up? Because let me tell you what this thing, in fact, let me show you what this thing is going to look like. Again, many of you who watch my show have seen this before, but again, newbies will be coming into the space. So check it out. We want show images. Here we go. This is the one. This is the famous S curve. Here we go. This is what it's going to look like. This is what it's going to look like. The curve. Like the uptrend, literally just upticking slowly. But like literally it's going to go parabolic like around there. And then when it gets to 50% of the market share, that's when it sort of like starts to tail off. But when it gets around here, yeah, it'll probably be going up by $1 million a week, $1 million a day, something like that. Like absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And again, these figures are conservative because they're only one market, which is the derivatives market. But yeah, I mean, all these shit corners is like, well, it goes up and it goes round. No, it doesn't. It does this. This is what it's going to look like. When it goes absolutely ballistic. Yeah, so we can kind of like, is this? Are we maybe starting to see the uptick? Who knows? Who knows? Up on a year. Oh my God! Look at that. That is green right the way through. All 1 year, 6 months, 3 months, 1 month. Whoa. 1 week. 1 day. That's looking quite strong. Oh no. Less value for money is what it means. Ugh. Never mind. Anyway, let's have a quick look at CoinGeek. See what is going down. Look at this Financial Action Task Force. Financial Action Task Force releases updated guidance 12 hours ago by Jordan Atkins. The Financial Action Task Force, a global anti-money laundering watchdog, has released updated guidance on digital assets and digital asset service providers. The release portrays renewed commitment to stay current with rapidly evolving technology, rapidly evolving shitcoins, and business practices in the industry, emphasizing the need for regulators to remain agile, as well as addressing specific new developments within the industry. The revised guidance comes following a 12-month review of the initial release, which found that some jurisdictions' anti-money laundering and combating the financing of terrorists regimes with respect to digital assets were still underdeveloped or not developed at all. It is important to remember that while the Financial Action Task Force guidance is not law, the FATF recommendations will be influential and in most form the basis for new regulation in member countries. Therefore, the guidance is likely to be highly indicative of where domestic regulatory approaches towards digital assets are likely to go. The changes make some important clarifications and appear to be aimed at closing gaps by better defining the boundaries of the FATF's remit with regard to digital assets. For example, the guidance highlights 6 focus areas for the updated guidance, the first of which is to clarify the definitions of virtual assets and virtual asset service providers to make clear that these definitions are expansive and there should not be a case where a relevant financial asset is not covered by the Financial Action Task Force standards. There is also a focus on the rise in crime associated with digital assets and how these might be facilitated by new innovations within the industry. For example, the background to the guidance has been updated to make specific reference to the risks posed by digital assets, saying that both new and emerging risks should be monitored and guide the allocation of resources in the FATF member countries and businesses. They said, quotes here, the FATF has observed that VAs, virtual assets, are becoming increasingly mainstream for criminal activity more broadly. The majority of virtual assets related offences focused on predicate or money laundering offences, notwithstanding criminals did make use of VAs to evade financial sanctions and to raise funds to support terrorism. The FATF's definition of digital asset refers to as virtual asset in the guidance has been overhauled and emphasised that their definitions should be interpreted broadly, with jurisdictions relying on the fundamental concepts contained in it take a functional approach that can accommodate technological advances, innovative business models. Similarly, the definition of service providers has been developed. This is important because the FATF recommends that service providers in the space be made to adhere to the same anti-money laundering and CTF requirements as traditional financial institutions. Well, that's exactly what should happen, because Bitcoin is just simply a commodity. The commodity, as in like the demand for the product is immutable data, which effectively serves as data sovereignty and monetary sovereignty. That is the commodity. None of these shitcoins, none of these cryptocurrencies have anything like that. So again, they're just confused about this. People are saying, oh, we need clarity on this stuff. No, you don't. The concept, it's a bit like saying, oh, well, somebody's invented a new number one, therefore we need guidance and clarity on what the concept of number one really is. No, the concept of one is just simply one. It can be expressed in a number of different ways and alternative ways, but the concept is still the same. That is the same with Bitcoin. The concept is not new. The concept is just simply that of a commodity being a product that people demand. Therefore, when they demand it, it has a value. When it has a value, it can develop a price. When it develops a price, it can be used as a medium of exchange. That is it. All the laws are already there. So again, it's just massive confusion on behalf of shitcoiners who have been misled by all the bullshit from Blockstream and Core and all that crap about how censorship-resistant bollocks, just so that people will buy it, number go up, so that miners won't have anything to mine. Eventually they'll go bust and the Bitcoin project will fail. That's all they want. That is literally all they want. And again, that's why they call these splits of the Bitcoin chain contentious, because they don't want them. They want everybody to start their own shitcoins because they know shitcoins have got no fundamental value, which means they'll just simply disappear one day. Whereas Bitcoin can only continue on the Bitcoin chain. Because like I've said before, it's the way Satoshi Nakamoto started it and designed it. That means it is a commodity and not a security. No other cryptocurrency has that, which is why their currencies and absolute pieces of dog shit in a way. So while the original guidance was clear that almost any digital asset exchange is caught by this definition, the new guidance explicitly says that decentralized exchanges, which there are none, and platforms are considered virtual asset service providers for the purpose of guidance and therefore are subject to the FATF standards. Interestingly, much of the updated guidance is concerned with separating marketing obfuscation from reality in assessing digital asset service providers. Regulators are urged to treat all providers the same where they provide fundamentally similar services, regardless of business model. Yeah, because it's, like I said, it's the concept that remains the same. That this is appended to a section which recommends that each member country strive to bring itself in line with global regimes in order to avoid jurisdiction shopping is illustrative, suggesting renewed focus and suspicion on underhand practices which might not be illegal in and of themselves, but yet still undermine regulatory efforts. For example, the guidance now reflects specifically to the growing interest in non-fungible tokens. Again, it's just a phase. Warning that despite claiming otherwise, some NFTs may constitute digital assets for the purpose of the FATF and pose money laundering and terrorist financing risks owing to their secondary market. Well, yeah, Craig has preached this before. Anything being used as value, which is jewelry, watches, anything like that, using non-fungible tokens, like pieces of art. Art is a classic one for money laundering. So there's really no difference in the concept of what we're looking at here. It's just digital. That's it. Specific guidance is also given on stablecoins, including offering a definition of the term and some consideration towards their unique risk factors, and highlighting that rate of adoption will be instructive in assessing risk. They've said here, some proposed so-called stablecoins have been sponsored by large technology, communications or financial firms and seem to have the potential for rapid scaling and mass adoption. In the same way as any other large-scale value transfer system, this propensity for mass adoption significantly increases the risk of criminal abuse for ML and TF purposes. In numerous places, the update guidance that those dealing in stablecoins should be subject to same regulatory supervision as those dealing with typical digital assets and traditional financial assets. Yeah, they should really. Just can't really be bothered to read the rest of it because basically they're just saying, look, shitcoiners don't have a clue what they're doing. The concept is already there. They just haven't realized it yet. That's it. in a nutshell, it can only be Bitcoin, which is BSV, and that is it. Let's see what else they got. What's this? McAfee's bodyguard pleads not guilty in $13 million digital currency fraud case. Well, trying to get away with that, I guess. What else have we got here? 500.com acquires years old machines for a block reward mining venture. Dope. Oh dear, honestly, these shitcoiners literally just have no clue whatsoever. What we got here? The theory of Bitcoin, the Bitcoin white paper, the title, author, abstract, key takeaways. Oh, interesting. The endangered state of digital assets exchange, tokens and NFTs aren't scams on Bitcoin. Yeah. All right. Let's have a look at this then. So tokens and NFTs aren't scams on Bitcoin. BSV now has NFTs and tokens. Both were recently introduced to Bitcoin ecosystem. Before Fabric launched a simple Fabric protocol for tokens, and Twetch launched the Twetch Hat NFT instance for NFTs, and tokens existing on BSV were instances of NFTs and tokens existing on BSV were far and few between. Once it became easier to create tokens, a wave of innovation began taking place on Bitcoin, with over 1,000 SFP tokens generated within 2 days of Fabric's protocol launch. So again, I mean, this is just simply what happened on Ethereum, and everybody was doing ICOs. You know, let's spin a story and create this like little name and little logo, and people will buy it thinking it's the next best thing since sliced bread. I believe that it is a net positive that tokens and NFTs exist and are being launched on BSV. However, what both the token resistance and the NFT conversations have shown is that not all Bitcoin builders, enthusiasts and investors have the same belief. Why? When people hear tokens and NFTs, they think Ethereum. When people think Ethereum, they have flashbacks of the 2017 Cryptomania, ICO, DeFi scams, and digital art collectible buying and reselling that does not make much sense at first glance. For that reason, I think that when some individuals in the Bitcoin community hear that BSV has tokens and NFTs, they immediately think this is a scam, this is going nowhere. However, I don't think that is true. Alright, well, let's see what he says here. What is the difference? When it comes to tokens, the Ethereum ICOs and DeFi products that most would call scams did not deliver on their promises of achieving their roadmap milestones. Well, they're securities. They're just illegal securities. That's it. It's nothing to do with like delivering their roadmap milestones. They're absolute pieces of shit. They're not equity. They do not offer a dividend. They do not give you shares in a company. Absolute pieces of dog shit. Just because a majority of blockchain tokens have a bad rap, it does not mean that tokens are bad. In my opinion, it just means that we haven't seen very many legitimate uses for tokens and NFTs, and that they haven't been used to the best of their abilities yet. Well, that's because you can only have one form of money, which is commodity money. In other words, the actual token has a value itself because of the utility that it provides, and the utility that Bitcoin provides is the ability to upload data onto the blockchain, which gives you data sovereignty over what it is that you've just created there. Seriously. Here we go. So the easiest way to set BSV tokens apart from these Ethereum project is to actually deliver, to create tokens with a real utility and implement them in business models in practical ways that make sense. Well, like what? Tokens can only represent they're certificates. They are digital certificates of the digitized asset that they represent. So you can now effectively own a part, as in like, you know, you can own a piece of through this digital certificate. So tokens can only represent the value of the item that they are representative of, as in like, you know, a part of, a share of, a fraction of is probably a better description of it. Or they can just simply be used as tickets, so they have the value of the event that they represent. That is it. That is it. They are not money. You know, so platforms exchanging and trading tokens, yeah, I mean, you can now tokenize bits of art, which means more people can buy the art, and if more people can buy the art, it probably means it's going to fetch a higher price, because people will be like, all right, well, I can't afford that entire, you know, a bit of art like the Mona Lisa, but now it's been digitized, I can buy a fraction of it, represented by this token. Yeah, that's a great idea. So it just means that the elite is no longer gonna own everything. You can own fractions of it through this token, but there is no utility in them. Like with Bitcoin, the utility of Bitcoin is immutable data. Is the ability to upload data onto the blockchain. That is utility. None of these tokens have that, and won't ever really. So, yeah, let's see what else he said. With tokens, we've seen all the things that other blockchain networks with token protocols have done wrong. And we can better by not making these mistakes those other networks and projects have made. But what about NFT? I'm not sure if I agree with that statement, to be honest. But what about NFTs? NFTs are a whole different animal. They have existed for quite some time, but it wasn't really until the summer of 2020 that NFTs picked up traction and slowly began working their way to mass adoption. I've seen several people in the Bitcoin community call NFTs a scam. However, I do not think this is true either. NFTs are relatively new, and I can believe that they are still finding their purpose in the world. Although they have become popular in demand as digital collectibles, I personally do not think that is the best or final use case for NFTs. Well, I mean, NFTs are good for tickets because you don't want tickets to be replicated, so tickets for an event and whatnot, I can't speak much of this topic yet because I'm still doing my best to understand them and the potential they have for the future, but rather than write them off, I would like to experiment with them and learn more. A little bit dangerous, really. Experimenting with them, is probably what all these shitcoiners said they were doing. Oh yeah, it's a new concept. No, it's not a new concept. What are you selling? What's the value that this thing has got? And how are you selling it? Are people buying them with the expectation of profit? Well, probably. Which means you're getting into the realms of it being a security. However, they're buying it with the expectation of profit, not realizing that it doesn't give them anything. It doesn't give you equity in a company, doesn't give you shares, doesn't give you a dividend, doesn't give you ownership. It means you own a bit of digital data. What is it good for? Nothing. All right. I mean, unless, for example, like with Gorilla DAO, they were basically selling club membership. If you want to be in our little gang, if you want to be in our little group, then you gotta send your money over, and we'll give you a token in return. Then we'll decide what happens to your money. Is really all it is. Education is key. Learning more about both tokens and NFTs brings me to the final point I would like to cover: education. Just because tokens and NFTs may have been created by bad actors on other blockchains does not mean that they will be created by bad actors on BSV. That alone makes a major difference. Well, not if people are ignorant and they don't actually know what they're doing. If individuals with honest intentions, well, again, it's nothing to do with honest intentions. It's actually like, what are you doing? You might have an honest intention, but be effing stupid. And ignorance and stupidity is no excuse in the law. If individuals with honest intentions who have set out to create legitimate businesses have incorporated tokens or NFTs into their business model, so in other words, just give us your money and we'll give you this piece of shit we just made. No, not going to wash. There is a good chance that they want their creations to succeed. They also have their reputation at stake. Well, they're not selling shares in a company. Unless they're tokenizing the products they produce and saying, look, this is proof that you now own a part of this. There is no value in these things, and they should not be being sold. And why would anybody buy it other than with the expectation of profit? I'll give you some real world money, something that's got fundamental value for something that doesn't. It's not a good trade, really. Compare this to the anonymous teams and developers on other blockchains to whom you can't tie a real world identity to, and it's no surprise that some of them simply raise money to exit scam their users. Well, that's what's going to happen with these people who have got honest intentions when they realize that what they're creating is a load of crap. Oh, sorry about that. My bad. See you later. Well, can we have our money back then? No. That's what's going to happen. That being said, we can learn from both the failed and successful projects that were built on the blockchains. We can look at what they did wrong, make sure we don't make those same mistakes. Well, it looks like they're being made all over again. And we can look at what the successful projects did right and incorporate elements from those projects into our Bitcoin-based projects. Well, what have they done right? The entire market is full of shitcoins. BSV is the only genuine digital commodity. So, just because others did wrong does not mean it will be done wrong on Bitcoin. Just because others have scammed their users does not mean Bitcoin businesses will scam theirs. Well, unless they're offering equity in their business, or unless they're offering, tickets to an event of which people understand why they're buying it, or club membership. That's it. We can learn from those past instances. Well, it doesn't sound like learnt much from them. You know, when you're saying, oh, we need to experiment with this. No, you do not experiment with the concept of number one. You cannot experiment it. You can express it in different ways. The concept is set in stone. We can learn from these past instances, but we should not believe all tokens and NFTs are scams because of those instances. Well, if they're not scams, it should be blatantly obvious where their value is and why people are buying them. It is important for anyone to educate themselves on each of these topics as we do a bit of experimenting with both tokens and NFTs so that they can better understand them and their legitimate optimal use cases. At the end of the day, both tokens and NFTs are not being ignored. Tokens and NFTs are arguably the current killer app. No, they're not the killer app. The killer app is micropayments. On the blockchain, the instance that made blockchain technologies popular and adopted. So maybe there is more to tokens and NFTs than meets the eye. There isn't really. Maybe there are better use cases for tokens and NFTs that the world has not seen yet, and maybe the world has not seen them yet because they are only possible on BSV. No, I mean you can still scam on BSV, but it just means chances are you'll get caught. That's pretty much all it is, to be honest with you. Let's just have a quick look down my profile. I've seen Joshua Hinton has been released one of, well, kind of like an exchange. Let's have a quick look at this. Let me see if I can find it. This was the one. So somebody had said here. Patrick Thompson has said, I just sold an OG money button, a Shure coin, for $8,000. Ask me anything. So it looks like on here, a man paid $8,000, token quantity 1, Shure coin. So does that mean somebody has paid $8,000 for one Shure coin? Like, if they're paying it for novelty value, I mean that's a complete complete waste of money. Well, they've given $8,000 to Patrick Thompson, but somebody else had said. There we go. What was this? So in response to that, Patrick has said, I'm selling my Twitch account number. I'm one of the first 100 Twitch users, so it's very rare. My Twitch user number is 93. I will not accept anything less than $10,000 for it. Bidding begins there. Some would say that Twitch user number is an NFT. Bragging rights, I suppose. But this guy, whoever he is, Tubman, said, I just made $24,000 off that 8,000 Shure coin. Thank you. So has he passed it on? So he bought it for 8 and he sold it for 24. So that's a $16,000 profit. I mean, who's buying it for 24,000? Somebody that's got more money than sense, obviously, because there is no point in buying that. You're paying $24,000 for bragging rights. You know, but this actually sets like a dangerous precedent because people that aren't all that intelligent are going to be like, oh my god, someone bought this and it went up in value, therefore I'm going to do the same. And then we've got shitcoining all over again, speculating on things that have got no fundamental value. I mean, this guy here is lucky to offload it, you know, but now he's bragging about it. And now what's the next person going to do that bought it for 24 grand? What are they going to do? Try and sell it to the next person for 30? And then that person tries to pass it off for 35, and then that person tries to sell it off for 40. At some point, someone's going to be stuck with it. You know, and what have they bought it for? Thinking that it's going to accumulate in value like a piece of art. There's no provenance in these things. It doesn't do anything. It has no use case. So, it's disappointing. It's a bit disappointing because it just looks like stupid people are entering the Bitcoin. I mean, we know it's going to happen eventually anyway, you know, but I mean, I thought I was going to see stupid stuff like this, like slightly later on down the line, you know, not right now. Anyway, I think, what's this? It's currently trading for around the equivalent of $19,000 on Rex. What's this? One money button Shure. Equals a 700,000 run Shure. What's this? Buys and sell orders. I mean, look, Shua doesn't do anything. Well, not that I'm aware of, and it's got no fundamental value. There is no dividend, there is no equity in a company, there's no nothing. So are we looking at the birth of shitcoining on Bitcoin? Bit disappointing, if you ask me, to be honest. People congratulating. Oh yeah, congratulating the person who sold it. Are you congratulating the person who bought it? You're just like, aren't you an idiot? Well, more money than sense. So yeah, fair enough. You want to just like dish your money out. I'll sell you a piece of crap. Yeah. Anyway. Let's just see if there was something else. I want to see this post here via Joshua Hensley. Oh, this was quite interesting. Federal Reserve basically saying, oh yeah, core coin is more like digital gold, which means it's not a threat to the dollar, which is exactly what they want. They don't want people to use it. They don't want it to be a threat to the dollar. That's the whole point of all this shit that's gone down. It was a Tether printer printing another like $1 billion. Oh my god, this guy was an absolute joke. If you ever watch his YouTube video, he was going, oh yeah, so there's only 4 contenders who could beat Satoshi Nakamoto. Dorian Satoshi Nakamoto, who Satoshi Nakamoto categorically said in an email wasn't him, and he just happened to miss that bit out. Hal Finney, who laughed at the idea of him being Satoshi Nakamoto, and also Hal Finney, wanting money to be anonymous, so he didn't have a clue what Bitcoin really was. Nick Szabo, not realizing that Bitcoin had control loops in it, so we can take him out. And Paul LaRue is a criminal. So what are you doing with a criminal designing a system that's traceable? It's none of them. And I've just literally counted them all out in less than 10 seconds? And this shitcoiner here hasn't figured it out yet. Oh my god. This is what I'm saying, like shitcoin is shit for brains. Ridiculous. Let me just see if I can find what... I'm trying to find this post from Joshua Hensley. Here we go. Let's have a look at his profile here. Oh, this was it. Morning Run. So he said, good morning, y'all. Introducing the Morning Run. Wake up to a real-time view of the token economy. So this is like a screenshot of it. So the Morning Run. So-called analysts say these tokens might go to the moon. I mean, that is quite funny. I presume it's like a piss take here. State-of-the-art machinery to mint your own digital token on Run. Mint.tu Run, $5. So we've got currently listed here a Shua, Rex, and USDC. I wonder if that has actually anything to do with the increase in the apps on RelayX, maybe. So this is the actual website. Random social media accounts rush to exchange tokens, going directly against the status quo narrative in BSV. This looks to be just the start of the real-time token economy emerging. Well, there's no value in these yet. So, upon the Rex, the RelayX exchange launched, the Run protocol saw significant increased interest from incumbents, including those who have claimed in the past that all tokens are scams. The emergence of Shua, the Rex launch, and a unified adoption of the Run token protocol poises the BSV ecosystem to thrive as America did in the roaring 1920s. Let's have a quick look at this. So, trends.cash. So we're looking at is this apps ranking by money spent? So we've got RelayX on there. RelayX even outdoing TD. Is this shitcoining? Is my question. Is that what this is? And there was another one. There was RelayX, Vote EC. Not sure what that one was. Let's have a look. Apps by performed actions. There, Run was on here. There we go. Run. Is this anything to do with it? So large spikes in the price. Actions made. So this was the 19th of March. It's gone from 575 to 2,216. but again, this is what those guys did over at Coinbase to make it look like there was more interest in Litecoin. They started wash trading Litecoin, which is what they've just been picked up on, which gave people the false assumption that people were actually getting interested in Litecoin, and then they started buying it for no other reason other than sheer speculation. So, I mean, is this just history repeating itself? You know, it's not looking good, personally, if you ask me. Yeah, I would say be careful. And like what? They've got this supply of 53,900, and Surecoin currently has a market cap of $1.1 million. Like, what? Is this right? Yeah, $1,122,832. Like, what is Surecoin doing with a market cap of $1.1 million? Like, seriously. $1.1 million of what? I mean, is it because like maybe one or two people have bought Surecoin? And then you just simply multiply that amount by 53,900 because it's fungible. Again, I mean, these figures are misleading as to what it really is. There's no fundamental value here. So I would suggest to people just be cautious. Listen to what I'm saying here. Listen to how I'm explaining this. I'm a fundamentals guy. I get the concept here. Maybe these guys are techies and they're experimenting, thinking, "Oh, this is new ground." The laws still need to be clarified. No, they don't. They really don't. They're already there. So that's that. Oh, I've been going for 40 minutes already. Time flies when you're having fun. Oh my goodness me. Shout out to people in the chat box: Connor G, Richard Lee, Shelly Mack in there, and Goose Tech. Nice one. It says Canonics book NFTs have physical and numbered items batched to the NFT. At the very least, this does allow for a chain of ownership of a physical item. Well, it's information in a book, but if you ask, I mean, books are meant to be read. What's the point in putting up a barrier to entry? It indicates to me that people are buying it for novelty value. I mean, if you write a story, is not the whole point to get as many people in the world to read it as possible? How many people are going to spend $100 on a book after? I mean, what, they made a quick 10 grand? Fair dues. They made that, but is anyone else going to buy it? Don't think so. If I spent all my time writing the book like I'm doing, I want people to read it. That's the whole point. What's the point in buying art and then just stashing in a dark room? I mean, people obviously do that now for speculation purposes, as like investment, money laundering and whatever with artwork. But that's kind of it. There was an article on this, which is why I'm looking at it. I found something just a second ago. Oh. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. All right, we'll tell you what. We'll leave this up while we're doing Ding a Dong. Oh, looks like numbers going up again. Oh no. Here we go. I don't know if it's flattening out. Good. Right, morning run. Right, people. Just put your Paymails and hand cashes in the chat box. Let's do this. Opening up my hand cash. So Shelly Mack says, Satoshi, please tell us about your new shows, times and platforms, so we don't miss any news on the BSV documentary produced by Calvin. I've not heard anything on that just yet, to be honest with you. But I'm with my shows. I mean, at the moment, because I'm doing quite a lot of them, I'm just kind of like sealing, well, just kind of. Seriously, I'm gonna turn my volume down. I'm just seeing how much energy I've got, because obviously I need to give my voice a rest. Otherwise I'll be talking until the cows come home. Right, let's do this. Hold on 1 second. Right, handle Goose Tech on the way. Goose Tech. Is that registered yet? Seriously? Oh no, Goose. Goose. Here we go. Let's see if Goose is registered. Like Goose as in Maverick and Goose. Hey, there we go. Swiping to send on the way. Turning the volume up. Got it. Goose Tech. There we go. Oh, Vanilla BSV. I think that should be in my messages now. Vanilla BSV. There we go. Swiping to send on the way. Shelly Mac, this one is for you. Here we go. Shelly Mac. Swiping to send. There we go. Richie Rich. Send. RICH. Quite a few Riches in there now. There we go. Swiping to send. Nice. And Connor G. Here we go. Connor G. Swiping to send on the way to the. There we go. Nice one. Right then, peeps, that do. Oh, nice 46-minute show. Right, yeah, we'll leave it there. Again, you know, there's going to be... remember to use that share button on the Lauren Gamaroff interview. We'll do the Bitcoin bulletin charts. They'll be going on YouTube. And again, any news flashes will be on YouTube, so they're free for people. But yeah, I mean, I'll still try and do the main show live at 5 every day. So as ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, joy given. Catch you guys later. Get paid for posting your pics on Relica. Download the app now at www.getrelica.com. Get your tweet etched on Twitch, forever on the Bitcoin blockchain. Do it today at www.jointwitch.com. BuyBSV.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online. Support independent content creators on micropayment platforms such as Streamanity, Twitch and Relica. We should profit from our data, not the large corporations who track, monitor and sell it. If you enjoy the Bitcoin content that I produce, please support me by heading over to www.satoshi.tv, where you can keep up to date with all the latest news, gossip and content as it's created. Thanks very much. To get started in Bitcoin, go to freebsv.com, where you can claim your free Bitcoin. Then head over to Twitter and follow @IamSatoshi, where you can take part in his very generous and world famous free giveaways. The future of advertising meets the power of Bitcoin at Tonic Pow. Get paid for posting advertising campaigns to your social media profiles. Go to www.tonicpowads.com.